Okay, now we're going to start working on some of the features and know where we're supposed to put them. If you measure from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin, like this, halfway down is where the eyes are. So we're going to put a line halfway down, and that's going to be the eye line. Now, a lot of people think, oh no, that can't be right. But that's because when we're looking at somebody's face, we're usually looking at the skin part. And we neglect the dome of the head up here to the top of the head where you have the hair, okay? And we count both of those things in. So, if you're going to make eyes, you're going to put them on this line. And the size of the line, you could put 3 right in a row. And you would have the right space between the eyes. Next, what you're going to do is measure from the eye line down to the chin line and cut it in half. And right here is where the bottom of the nose is going to be. First of all, if you touch between the eyes, you can feel the bone of your nose. And as you go down, all of a sudden you come to the end of it and it's kind of squishy. And so what we do first is put a circle here to indicate this part of the nose. The second thing we're going to do is go from this line down to this line again and divide it in half. And the mouth is going to sit right here. Now, if you dropped a line down from the corner of the eye down this way, you would see that you could put the nose right here. Here are the nostrils with the skin flaps right here. And then we're going to look at if this is rounded or flat or what shape it is when we look at our own noses. Okay? Next thing right here is where the chin is going to be. And your mouth is going to come just off these lines right here. Okay? Now, let's get back to the eyes. You know, the eyeball is round. And skin stretches across it, even though it's sitting in the eye socket of your skull. And it comes across here like this. And there is a muscle in the corner, right here, right there. And you can see it. The other thing you can see, and you can put a double line like this, is how thick your skin is, covering over the eyeball. Now this part of the eyeball is in the socket, so you don't see that. And this part of the eyeball is too, but right up here, you usually have some sort of a wrinkle for your eyelid. Now a lot depends on what your heritage is. If you're Asian, your eyes might slant up slightly and you might not see a big space here between the edge of the eyelid and where it comes out here. Okay, so you need to look into the mirror at your particular shape of eyes, and you need to look at how the wrinkle forms above that. Okay, the other thing is that we have the iris of the eye. If you draw the eye so that you see the entire iris like this, you look scared out of your wits because your eyelid is covering part of the eye. You'd have to be going like this to see the whole thing. And an artist has a little trick with the pupil of the eye. pupil is like this, and then usually we leave a little white space like that, which indicates that our eye is covered with liquid and it's reflecting the light from outside. Then you can put in lines to indicate whether it's blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes, whatever, however dark your eye is, like this. Now, another mistake that we make, and it's easy to make, is putting in eyelashes, and we have a tendency to put them like this. Eyelashes don't grow like that. Eyelashes come out and up. So we have to draw them. Here's your eyelid. We have to draw them coming out and up, out and up, out and up, out and up, like this. And then we have some smaller ones on the bottom. Now I can talk a little bit about things that artists use to indicate whether you're a girl or you're a boy. Most artists use the eyelashes to show that it is feminine. We use mascara, we make them thicker and darker so that they really show up. And yet I know some boys that have fantastic eyelashes that girls would kill for. Okay, but when you're drawing a boy, you don't accentuate the eyelashes. Okay, on a boy, you might accentuate the eyebrows. So the eyebrows, and you need to look at your specific eyebrows, grow up with big hairs this way, and then grow out this way, and even some that grow down this way to create the shape of the eyebrow. Okay? So, once you have your eyes figured out and you've looked at them, you'll want to put them on your drawing. And your brows. Like so. So you could theoretically draw 3 eyes right in a row and erase the middle one, and you'd have the right space between the eyes. Now the nose, we have to look at the space between the nostrils. We know that the dark spot on the nostrils is really just a shadow because they're holes that go up into your head. And I always ask you, look at your finger. Do you see how big it is? Does it fit up your nose? And you know that it does. Okay. So you've got to make sure that your nose is not too little. And we have a tendency to make them little because they're hard to draw. The next thing is the mouth. When you look into the mirror at your mouth, ask yourself the question, is my upper lip bigger or smaller than my lower lip? Also, you might start out with drawing 3 circles, like this. Then we have a dip here, and you can ask yourself, are my lips like mountain peaks or rolling hills? And then you can erase these. And you have a mouth. But not everybody's lips look like that. And I will say an artist for drawing a girl will accentuate the roundness and bigness of the lips. Whereas for a boy, you will make them much more linear. Okay? And I always tell the story of when you were a baby and you were crying and carrying on, and the angel came down and put her finger underneath your nose and pushed and said, "Shh, quit making so much noise, you crying baby." And when she lifted her finger from your lips, she left a dent. So that we know this area right here, okay, is not flat. That it really has a little dent in it. Okay? Now, our ears. Right between the eye line, here's the nose line, lips, and the ears are right here. Now when you're looking at an ear sideways, it comes out this way, and it may go right into your neck, or it might come up like this. This is a hereditary thing, where your ear goes this way, and you have this little thing here, and this is where you put your earring. The trouble is, when you're looking straight at somebody, you don't see the entire ear like you do sideways. You only see parts of it. But it actually comes between your eye and the bottom of your nose, except when you start getting older. Then we find out the ears start to get longer and the nose starts to get longer. But we don't have to worry about that today. The next thing we have to be sure we do is know that the neck, actually there's a muscle, comes right behind the ear and down here to these little bones that come together, collarbone or clavicle, right here. The muscle comes down and attaches to those bones, and it enables us to turn our head from side to side, okay? So our neck comes down this way, and here's the clavicle or collarbone. The muscle is quite a long muscle, this one right here, and it's called the sternomastoid muscle. And it's really important because if we didn't have it, we'd have to turn our whole body to look over here rather than turning our head, okay? Our hairline, depending on how old you are usually, starts right about here. It doesn't start on top of the head. It starts here. It could go this way, or your hair can come down this way. Depends on what sort of a hairdo you have. Whether you have short hair or long hair. And it goes over the top of your head, like that. Now this is the proportion. This doesn't look like anybody in particular, but it's the correct proportion of eyes, nose, mouth, ears, head and chin, or top of the head and the chin, and your neck, okay?